Are you all? Here's the lesson 9, which is talking about the verbal phrases. Before we've talked about the verbals, but here we have the verbal phrases, which is pretty easy. Just believe me, it's so easy that if you listen to me, it's so then you can understand it easily. The first type of the verbal phrases that we have the gerund phrase. We talked about the gerund, and this is exactly the same, but the only difference between them is the formula or the ways of writing the gerund that we have. At the very beginning that we talked about the gerund, we only had the word, which was the verb form with the ing, but here the formula would be changed. But what's gerund phrase? A gerund phrase will begin with a gerund, an ing word, and will include other modifiers or objects that change the formula. A gerund phrase always follows these rules. First, this phrase always starts with the gerund verb ing in a sentence, but you can add other words like modifiers, but they are optional. But the only stable thing that we have here is the gerund that couldn't ever be changed, and we have to always have it. The second one always includes modifiers or objects. If it's not so, it's not a phrase, it's only gerund in a sentence. It functions nominally as a gerund does. We said that the gerund functions as a noun in a sentence, like the subject of a sentence, an object, or the subject complement. And here it's the same, and this is not changed. It's always a subject in object or a subject complement in a sentence. The formula here, we also have to have a gerund, and in order to make a phrase, we have to add more things, like you can have modifiers here in object, and also modifiers to describe the object that we have, and this one describing the gerund here, and this one also. But they are, as I put it in the parentheses, they are optionals that you can just have one of them in the sentence, not all of them. We are going to talk about the functions that are exactly the same as the gerund that we had before. The first one, a gerund phrase, is a noun, subject, object, or an object complementing the object of a preposition. Sorry. The first one, the teacher was loved for efficiently teaching grammar. Here we have, you can only say the teacher was loved for teaching, but to make it more clear and give it more details, so you can add other things to make a preposition, a gerund phrase here. So we added efficiently, which is adverb, and here we have grammar, which is the object of the gerund phrase. So after for, we have efficiently teaching grammar, which is the gerund phrase in a sentence, and here we have a for that the efficiently teaching grammar would be the preposition, the gerund phrase, and it's functioning as the object of a preposition for. She avoided driving off the cliff. You can just say she avoided driving, but to add more detail and information, you can say driving off the cliff. Here, this is the gerund phrase and working as the object of the word avoided, the verb avoided. Eating ice cream on a hot day can be a good way to cool off. Sorry. We have eating ice cream here. Eating ice cream on a hot day. This is the subject of a sentence, and we have more details about it. So this is the gerund phrase from the eating up to a hot day. So this is the gerund phrase and functioning as the subject of a sentence. Sorry for my voice. The second usage that we have is the subject complement in a sentence, that's completing the meaning of the subject. What I really like is traveling to the other countries. What I really like is traveling to the other countries is traveling is not a verb, it's a gerund because it's describing something in the other sentence that we have. So, what I really like is traveling. I like traveling, and you can say traveling to the other countries, which mm, makes the phrase traveling to the other countries are is the gerund phrase here, not the. If you say traveling alone, so that would be a gerund, but traveling to the other countries is the gerund phrase. Be careful not to confuse the gerund with an adjective. We can have a gerund. It's not a gerund. Its shape is like a gerund, so that could be a adjective in a sentence. The meaning shot here. The gerund that we have is not a subject or not anything that acts as a noun. So here it's describing the word shot, and this is the adjective. It doesn't relate to the topic that we have here, but it's for you in order not to get confused. This is what we have to talk about here. I'm not gonna go through them in a long way and in more deep way because we've talked about it before in the gerund. Because the most important thing that we have to know is its functions. They are very important, and the rule that we have and the ways how to use it in a sentence. And its properties, which I wrote them here for you. Let's do some practice, some exercise. I just leave it as a blank here for you, just to help you to answer. And after answering them, you can just send it to me and ask me any question that you want. And take a few minutes and we will go through them. If you don't understand anything, feel free to ask me. Just identify the gerund phrase here. We have the sentence that I wrote for you. And the only thing that you have to do is finding the gerund phrases that we have here and is determining its function or their function, like how they work, what's their job here. Okay, let's take a look for a few minutes. Just go through the first one. First, thanks for taking off your shoes before coming in the house. Here, thanks for taking off your shoes before coming in the house. Here we have to, let me check. Yeah, here we have two gerund phrases. The first one, for taking off your shoes, taking off your shoes is gerund phrase. That's the object of the preposition. And also here we have before coming in the house. Coming in the house is gerund phrase, and it's describing the before word. The second one here we have the kids were excited about eating birthday cake. Um, Here we have about, which is the preposition, and eating birthday cake is the gerund phrase. That's the object of a preposition, functioning as a noun. It's functioning nominally. And the first one too, functioning nominally. Third one, please stop texting me. Here, this is the object of the verb stop. Texting me, the gerund phrase, and it only has the object here, and all of them together is the object of the word stop. The fourth one, most of the time swimming at the beach is safe. Swimming at the beach is the gerund phrase and it's functioning as the subject of a sentence, so this is functioning nominally here. The last one, he doesn't like getting up early on Fridays. He doesn't like something. Getting up early on Fridays, all of them are gerund phrase together, are making gerund phrase, and they are functioning like the object of the verb like, doesn't like. So that's all for today, and here my email, you can ask me any question.